I love you, Benji.
So introduce yourself.
I am Christopher Trotman. I am 19 years of age. I am born in October. Born in the year 2000. What else can I say about myself? I'm musically inclined and also business inclined now at the moment as well. So yeah, that's what I'll say I am.
Tell me more about your music.
So my music started off when I was like young at church, 4 or 5 years old, playing drums when I can. Always sitting behind like the drummer to get my turn, and that's kind of where like my music journey started. From then I just carried on playing drums, practicing at home, playing pots and pans, anything I can really. They got to secondary school, still playing drums, but there was loads of other drummers as well. So I kind of took it upon myself to say, cool, I'm going to go over and learn another instrument. I'm going to go learn keyboards. So keyboards is kind of where I honed into the craft of music. Keyboards is where, under the influence of my dad, who taught me some stuff to begin with, that's kind of where I kind of honed in music in a whole and took it on further. So that's how I got into music.
So how did your dad inspire you to do music?
Wow, like in every way, he just gave me the opportunity. Every time he's always giving me that first opportunity. For instance, playing drums at church, like he gave me that first opportunity. Even till when I played my first professional corporate event, he gave me that opportunity, and he's always is really good. He's given me an opportunity to play on his album as well and other things like that. So the one thing I'm definitely grateful for is the opportunity from my dad, and it gives me the experience to go out to other places and use that experience and kind of just do all I can with what I've learned as well. So yeah, it's inspired me quite a lot.
Tell us more about how you're an entrepreneur.
So it's recent, very recent, within like last 6 months I'll say. I kind of just took myself on to kind of read a book. There's a famous book called Rich Dad Poor Dad, and that just twisted my whole mindset towards life really and everything that I do. From doing gigs and playing at restaurants, playing at corporate events, the Rich Dad Poor Dad made me think about the business aspects. I never really thought a lot about business in that sense, but the business aspect of music is never something I really thought about. The book made me just think about everything I can do in life and all the possibilities that I can do with what I already have. So that book kind of made me think, I need to focus on my business and I need to make it into something that can be an opportunity for myself, but an opportunity for others as well. And with what I can do with the gifts that I've got, then I want to be able to spread that and help other people in the same way as well that I can help myself.
So who introduced you to religion?
Religion?
Yeah.
I think obviously through family, you begin and you go with the family to church every Sunday. That's obviously where I played drums and stuff. So I was hooked from playing drums already and playing instruments in church. But as time goes on, you start to ask questions, you start to believe things for yourself, understand things for yourself as well. When I was playing at different churches every week, it was quite confusing because there's different ways to interpret one thing. For instance, you talk about an apple, so someone can say it's like a red ball, or someone will say it's an apple or a pear that's red, or there's so many different ways to kind of think of one thing. And through going to different churches, it kind of confused my mindset towards the belief of Christ and the belief of Jesus as well. So I did get to a point where I think I was about 14, 15, where I was just like, nah, you know what, this God thing, it's not feeling anything. I go into churches and I feel like it's fake and I feel like it's just not right. But one of my friends invited me to this church called The Rock, NTCG The Rock. And I said, you know what, I'm gonna give it one more chance. I'm gonna give it, one more push to see if God's speaking to me, if God's telling me to do something. And within that one service that I went to on my own accord, not to play, just to sit and just to see how the service goes. That was a service where God spoke to me and he said, this is where you would stay. You're probably thinking, oh, is it like a voice? It was more just an incline. Everything I wanted or needed at that time, it was the church would offer it to me. For instance, support on being able to get through different challenges in life, through school, people who I can relate with when it comes to the Bible. I'm not the most... I don't know everything in the Bible, but there was people around me that could help me take on steps and start from the beginning and go through it with me as well. So that's how church really helped me get to where I am today, really.
So what specific experiences could you recall which is when you needed religion the most? Or when you use religion to help you the most?
There's been a few times where mentally it's difficult for me, where to be able to I won't say be in presence of other people, but when things don't go the way that I expect it to, I find it challenging to still keep an uplifting tone or uplifting manner around people. So that puts me in a place of isolation. I like to isolate myself for a while, but in that isolation, it's like reflection. And it used to be in a bad place where I reflect on all the bad things and all the negative things that happen. But when I think about Jesus and I think about from when I began when I actually began 14, 15 years old, and I was with Jesus from then, and how far I've came and the good things that have come from it, you start to see yourself in another light, and you start to see new possibilities. For instance, I think it was someone from church who told me to read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad. And I wouldn't be here right now talking about my business and those kind of things if it wasn't through someone from church. I've had low moments where I've really just wanted to walk and go somewhere by myself, and I've called up somebody from church. I think the religion itself, it's helped me a lot, but what's helped me as well is the people who are around me as well. That's kind of really shaped me and helped me, be strong in who I am.
So, have you ever experienced racism?
Yes. I experienced racism a lot at college. I think growing up, I was kind of always... I was always in the same kind of group of people, so everyone around me was black or of the same kind of culture as myself. So growing up, primary school, secondary school, it was fine. Secondary school, there was even more people around me with the same culture, so it was easier to relate. When I got to college, studying electrics, it was very, very difficult. Being in a class where I'm the only black person, it was quite tough. They ask you questions that I've kind of it's almost like they want to understand, but they're doing it in a way to joke around in front of everyone, and those kind of things, or being called particular words, where I've had to move class because of it and stuff like that. College was a place where I experienced a lot of it. It got to the point where there was just so much where I said, you know what, I'm not going in. I said to my mom, I'm not going to college. And my mom really helped me kind of mentally prepare myself every single day to take it on. And I never wanted to be a person who kind of reacted in a typical black, kind of way, where, you get angry and you start fighting people, you start swearing, those kind of things. I don't ever want to be like a stereotypical person. I'm made to, stand out and be unique. So I kind of, the way that I approached it would be a softer approach, but, going to management and going to people to speak about it properly. And they were very understanding. The management and stuff were very understanding. But even, teachers, I'm surprised. They were like, oh, I didn't know you were going to pass the exam. And stuff like that. It's kind of demeaning. At the time, you like, jokes, making fun. But when you get home and you think about it, it's actually quite... why wouldn't you think me, out of all people, wouldn't pass the exam? So when you think about questions like that, it's quite hard to kind of take it in and, and process it all as well. So yeah, racism I experienced quite a lot of at college.
What advice would you give to other people that experience racism?
I think I would say don't be stereotypical. The way that I handled it, I think for me was very proficient. It was very efficient. Sorry, it worked. I went to management, people above who I could speak to, and I know that there's places where I've been on stage and I've experienced racism as well. So it's like, who do you speak to in those kind of things? Or you're in places where there's no management. So how do you handle that? And that's very, very tricky. I think it's about being able to sit down and be serious with that person. Be like, listen, that's not on. That was very insulting, and kind of take it from there. I've never really been a person to kind of be physical or say I'm gonna fight you for what you said, or I don't think that's right. Reacting with violence, because I feel like that just makes it worse. Or could make it worse as well. So yeah.
So what do you think about the Black Lives Matter movement?
I think it's quite tough. I think at the time it happened, it was very good. I think with the Black Lives Matter protests, I think I'm happy to say that people kind of people went out for what they believed in, and I love that, and I love the fact that people of all different cultures supported it as well, which really kind of touched me as well. I think, you know, that's kind of great to see that people from white cultures, Asian cultures, you know, every culture kind of supported the same thing. I think the only thing was the protest was for like that time. So within the month there was like few protests, but like 2 months after, 3 months after, there's not been many protests, or there's not been many posts about the Black Lives Matter. And I still think, you know, as much as we can protest, I feel like we need to be in positions or speak to people in positions to be able to change things. You know, for instance, if you go into a place of work and there's non-black managers and there's loads of them and they're looking down to you, it's like a protest isn't going to change that in my eyes. What would change that is being able to work with someone on top and working your way up to be able to change what's underneath. I think it's hard to say everything will change instantly. I don't think anything will change instantly. You have to work. I think that when you work to a standard, or if you're doing so much, I think for the second generation or the generation after you, it will be much easier. And I think we have to look at it that way when we look at the generation above us and the generations above them as well. They went through it really, really, really tough. So what we need to do is kind of take on board what they've done, take on their toughness, kind of, you know, there's going to be things that are going to hurt us, but we need to be in positions where we can change what's underneath and change, you know, circumstances where people are being poorly treated. So, yeah, that's what I'd say.
On a much more positive note, where do you see yourself in 10 years?
10 years?
In the near future?
I think near future, I think I've been able to, recently with the COVID situation, I've been able to be at home and kind of work on myself and work on what I want to aspire to be and those kind of things and have. So I've put in plans to be able to grow my music business. Once that's grown, you know, be able to get a house that I want with, you know, with the amount of bedrooms that I want, with the amount of, you know, rooms and space that I want for myself. I think being able to see a vision is much better than being able to, you know, just say a vision, oh, I want this or I want that. If you see it every day, like me, I bought a vision board, and the vision board, you know, every time I wake up, I can't leave my house without seeing that vision board. So every time I leave my house, every time I leave my room, I know that I have purpose to achieve something. And I think that's good for other people to do as well. But me, I see myself, I don't know, few cars, you know, big house, you know, running the business. I think my main thing is helping others. I really do want to help others who have been in positions where I've been in, you know, where there's less of their culture around, or where if you're growing up in an area that I've grown up in, you're named to be a certain type of way or have a certain type of demeanor about yourself. So I think you know, just being able to offer opportunities where I can, if and where I can. For instance, I've done some workshops with some young people before, music workshops, interactive. You know, people are learning piano, learning different music, learning drums, learning what they want to learn. And over a period of time, you see how people's personalities change in places, and it comes out. And being able to support other people is definitely something I enjoy doing. So I would love to see myself in 10 years do lots of that, helping lots of different people.
What is your message to the youth?
My message to the youth, there's another way. I think a lot of people, there's another way. There's a lot of people.
What way are they going now? What way would you...
I think there's no... If you're going to a corner shop, you can go left, right, round the block. You know, there's loads of different ways to get to that one place. And I think that... you can always use what you want to use. So if you want to go to the shop and you walk, you can. If you want to go to the shop and ride the bike, you can. Go in the car, you can. And I think with that, it means to say you can use sports if you're into sports. For me, I'm into music. So for myself, I'm using music to help others. So if your main goal is to be able to help others, I'm using music in the same way, creating lessons and doing workshops so that I can help other people, and I can use that as a business. I'd say as well to read. Reading is, as much as I hated reading before, like school times, you know, I think reading is very important, you know, to be able to kind of see other people's experiences as well. And there's a lot of information that can help you via reading, and achieve big, and yeah, get a vision board and see your vision every day. Every day that you leave your house, you'll be able to see the reason why you're leaving your house, because you want to achieve what's on that vision board. So yeah, that's what I'd say.
Man, we're interview. Tell them where the church is and stuff so they can, if they want to come.
Yeah, so this church is NTCG The Rock. We're currently streaming services online. So I think you can see us on NTCG at NTCG The Rock on Instagram, and on YouTube it's The Rock Online.
Yeah, I edited it.
So yeah, that's where it is.
It's showing me talent, yeah.
Cool. Let's go.